I'm going to try this one more again before I was so rudely interrupted. Hey, Lady S, listen, I'm going to try this again. I was trying to grow y'all to some stuff, but my phone got too hot. I had it placed in the wrong place. Then I got disconnected, so we're going to try this one more again. We're going to try it one more again. We're going to try it one more again. I'm out running errands because I'm getting ready for Father's Day. Mr. Randolph, you know, he told me what he wanted for Father's Day. My honey is just, yeah. Thank you, Eugene. My honey's a simple guy. He told me what he wanted for Father's Day, but, you know, I told him, you know, you got to expect extra from me. You told me what if I'm here. Please hit the like button on your way in or out. So I'm driving, so I might not be able to, don't come up in here. Might not be able to look at the chat while I'm driving because I don't want to be distracted, right? Let's see here. So I'm going to get the food that he wants for his for Father's Day, guys, is that having particularly ladies, it's no, you know, having a man's child is no way to get him, is no way to keep him. I've also said to my nephews, because I don't have any sons, but I have nephews, and I have said to them, never, sorry y'all, never ever underestimate a woman who believes she's in love. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why? She may not intend to want to, it may not be her motivation to trap you, but I will tell you that when a woman's in love, particularly if it is a dysfunctional type of situation, I'm going to just keep it one bow wow, we become careless because we become desperate. How do you know this, TJ? I'm telling you this because I was one of them. And ain't that much changed in the last 28 years. I'm just saying. My daughter just turned 28. I had her at 27. I thought I was in love with her dad. The relationship was not a healthy one, but I was in love, damn it. So I was reckless, taking my BCs. You know what time it is. Thus, my fruit. So I tell my nephews, do not underestimate a woman who thinks she's in love, particularly if she is not your wife. You better pay attention. I just told you that when I dated this guy, he was a pilot, you know, would not be considered a pookie for all intents and purposes, but he was definitely shooting up the club. What do I mean by that? When we met, I had my one child. He had his one child. Subsequently, in years past, he went on to have 5 more children. And he only married the one that he had the youngest one with, and they still didn't last. And like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, thanks you two, that I would beg, it begs the question, or I would argue, that that person, his wife at the time, knew that the relationship was going downward because they had been together for years and years and years. But when it was going downhill, she got pregnant. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, so God forgive me if I am. I'm getting directions. I'm going to do some research. But anyway, so like I said, he was only married of the, I think, 6 children he has, 5 or 6. He was only married to the youngest one, mother, and that didn't last. So, women, I'm asking, why do we do that? What makes you think, or what makes us think? What makes us think that it's going to be different with us? Do we think that our what y'all call it, the box, that our box is just that great? That it somehow is going to undo the reckless behavior of the other party or the irresponsible behavior of the other party, so we become irresponsible too? Because I shared with you that I love this. I mean, he was the first guy I dated after I had my daughter, and it's funny because of all the children he has all boys. So he says that my daughter will have a great relationship to this day. But because I knew how difficult it was as a single mother with a child I had. Please hit the like button. I knew how difficult it was with the child I had, and I did not want him to think, and this is way before all these other children started having. I didn't want him to feel or think that I somehow got pregnant in an effort to keep him. Because, see, that's one thing I did learn from having my daughter when I did, because I've shared with you, I did not marry her father until she was 5. So we have been estranged off and on for 5 years. But one thing I learned, that I was not going to continue having children, particularly outside the confines of marriage. And I even said what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. Thank you, YouTube. My ex-husband, my daughter's father, wanted us to have another child. He wanted to try for a son. I was down with it. I was okay with it. However, I wanted to wait. I wanted us to wait to be a family of 3, to see how because we were already a family, to mesh as a couple 1, and to be parents to our daughter 2, before bringing another child into the relationship. That's what I wanted. I wanted us to at least make a go of it for 3 years. You hear me? 3. And it still didn't last. We were together for a year as a family before we got divorced, or before I started the proceedings. So my point being is this: we got to be smart, ladies. Regardless of what the man is doing, it's about, are you going to be responsible for yourself? Because, see, now what you got, not only if you have a situation that you are not secure in the woman that you are, you have self-esteem issues, because I had. Now, not only do you have to worry about yourself, you got to worry about another person who did not ask to be here. And if there is some angst against the father, oh, that's not a good ride. That's not a good ride. That's not a good ride. And so what started this conversation was the young man who went on Kendra G. I listened to a couple of episodes. He was going on her show to, find a friend, whatever. I'm not trying to be nobody's friend that got 6 kids. I'm just saying. And so when she asked him, does he have children? He said yes. He said he had 6 kids, basically stair stepping. The oldest one was 9. I think he had 7, 5, and then you had 3 of the 6 that were under 2 years and under. 2 years and under. So that means he had children. He had 2 women pregnant at the same time. So my question is, why would we do that? What the hell? What the hell? I need some answers. I'll wait. This man, or this male, I'll call him a male. This male, was talking disparagingly about these women, none of which he had been married to. He basically said that's on them. If they wanted to get pregnant, they knew what it was. They knew what it was. They knew what it was because he said, I think, at least 3 of the 3 women he wasn't even in a relationship with. He was just having sex. Hello. He said they know what it was. So we think we're going to change them, right? Is that what we think we're going to do? We think that he's going to love us in a very different way and be about us in a very different way. And let's check this out. Even when, I'll use a family member. There was a family member of mine who had a son. He posted lots of pictures of his son, him and his son doing things together. This individual, my relative, is a very handsome young man, very gifted young man, very charismatic young man. I told him, when you're dealing with these women, you need to be careful. Why? Because these women who like you or think that they like you, they see how much you love your son. They see how involved you are with your son. They see how proud you are of your son. Many of them will think, because we do get irresponsible, ladies, when we think we're in love, many will think, well, gosh, if he loves this son so much, I know he will love our baby if I have his baby. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Well, I tried to tell this my young family member, but as fate would have it, I was too late. Okay? Because it was all the baby. By this time, the baby had been conceived, the next one, by a different young woman. So again, I'm not talking about marriage. Marriage is something different. That marriage is something different. But if we're talking about no one has established a commitment, i.e. marriage, and men, you're shooting up the club. Women, we're being irresponsible, not taking our birth control pills, being, whatever. And here's the thing. Even if it's a very personal decision, but even if you say, the man says, well, I don't want to use a condom, you got to decide what's it worth to you. Seriously. You got to decide what it's worth to you because, again, it's either use a condom and at least make an attempt to prevent pregnancy, okay? Or don't use a condom and your chances go up exponentially. So you got to ask yourself, what is it worth it to you? you because, again, I was resolute. I was resolute. And I'm not going to say, when I told my ex-husband that I wanted to wait for us to be a family for 3 years, he was not pleased with that. I'm going to be honest. He wasn't pleased with that. But I was resolute. Because, again, I knew what it was like to struggle with the one I already had. The one that we already had. So I had to make a decision. And, it was tough. He later respected it and accepted it, but he didn't like it at first. But, again, I had to be, clear. Because at the end of the day, in most cases, not all, but in most cases, had we not worked out, the children would have been with me. Would have been with me. And that shit is hard. It is. So, I was just incredulous because, again, now mind you, this gentleman, well, I'm not going to call him a gentleman. That's definitely stretching it. This male, he talked so disparagingly about these women that are the mother of his children. I'm thinking, I'm sure they didn't act, I'm sure it was not a healthy relationship. Well, actually, I corrected myself because he said these weren't relationships in most cases. He said that. So what kind of fool are you, I'm just speaking in general, to get pregnant? What? What kind of fool are you to do that? And people are talking about, we got the Nick Cannons, we got the Futures. Let's just keep it 1,000 wow. Most of these men are not them. Okay? They're not them, ladies. And even if they were them, money is one thing, quality time is another. You need to go on and know that. Having relationships with your siblings is something else, too. So, that's not, look, y'all play too much. So, I'm just, like my mom said, and again, my mom had me young, I've shared that with you. And I did an interview with my mom when I first started this YouTube thing, and she was talking about, she doesn't understand, and I don't either. She doesn't understand why, no, she said, any woman that gets pregnant now gets pregnant because she wants to. I'm going to say that again, just in case you missed it. Any woman that gets pregnant now is because she wants to, because she definitely doesn't have to. That means you're not taking your birth control pills responsibly. You have not gotten any form of birth control. And or you think by getting pregnant will get him or keep him. Not to either situation. Because I give zero grace for, and I had to be gross. I remember, my cousin said, when I got pregnant with Danielle, I said, well, I wasn't trying to get pregnant. She said, yeah, you were. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, no, I wasn't. She said, yeah, you were because you weren't taking your birth control pills properly. So you weren't trying to prevent it. Let's put it like that. You may not have been trying to get pregnant, but you damn sure wasn't trying to prevent it. So I had to take accountability for that. I had to learn, and I did. I.e., no more children, no more pregnancy. Because I told y'all, once I dropped Danny B, if I didn't take a vitamin, I took a birth control pill. You understand me? And let's talk about dick discipline for a moment, shall we? I'm not a man, but I got to go ahead and say, a lot of men been talking about this dick discipline stuff, and I think y'all need to get a hold of that. Check this out. Me and my ex-husband, now we had our differences, truly. Well, if there's nothing else I give him credit for, he has not shopped the club. He has the same one child that we had together. So in 28 years, I'll say again, in 28 years, he has not had any more children. He has not been married again, and he has not had any more children. He's been in plenty of relationships, and I'm sure he did want children because at one point he told me that he wanted to have a son with me. So I knew that he wanted that. But whatever the case, he did not want to go down this road again of not being together. So I say that's some dick discipline right there. So if nothing else, I give him credit for that. I don't know what he did. It's not my business. But what I know what the results have been. The results have been he has no more children out of wedlock. So again, gentlemen, you got to decide too what is worth, because again, in a situation of my ex-husband, it wasn't worth that for him. It wasn't worth it. So yeah, you can shoot up the club and get pissed off at the female who's reckless in her own right and gets pregnant. You can point the finger at her. You sure can. But let's be mindful, the three are pointing back at you. Because the question is, what did you do to prevent it? That's real. But I'm not going to harp too much on the men because that's not the issue for me. Y'all got your own issues, and that's a fact. But women, you got to be responsible. And man, and I'm going to tell you something. When I watch Kendra G and I sit here and I listen to these women, and you're looking for love. Listen, I'm not saying it can't happen. Because again, there were men who loved me. Even though I wasn't ready, he loved me with my child. But you got to, it's so much more at stake. It's so much more at stake because, again, when you think about a marriage, it's supposed to be, your husband's supposed to come first. It's about giving, it's about the other person. You understand me? And then when you have multiple children, somebody is going to be neglected. Either it's going to be the husband or it's going to be the children. Somebody's going to be neglected. So, depending on how old your children are, you may want to say, you know what? I'm just going to wait until my children are out of the house. It's a sacrifice, no doubt. It's a sacrifice, no doubt. But you might need to do that. You might need to do that. Because that would be the selfless thing to do. You understand me? I said selfless. And because it's selfless don't mean it's easy. It ain't. I'm not saying it's easy, because it's definitely not, because I got lonely many a time. I did. But I'm glad things worked out the way that they did for me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's easy, because it wasn't. And I tried to have relationships while raising my daughter, and that was not the best thing. Fortunately, it did not result in some of the things that I'm talking about. But, I could fully concentrate on getting myself together as a woman to prepare myself for a man when I didn't have to worry about being a parent, too. Because your kids deserve, because they didn't ask to be here, They didn't ask to be here. So, being that they didn't ask to be here, they deserve your undivided attention. You hear what I said? They deserve your undivided attention, particularly if you are not with their father. Now, there are some instances, I'm not to say that it doesn't have blended families, because it does. It does happen. We know that. But we also know then more often than not, it doesn't. So I say again, like my mom said, having his baby is not a way to get a man, and it's surely not a way to keep one. Because what's going to end up happening in many cases, there's some resentment there. There's some resentment, definitely for the man. I'm just keeping one thou wow. Definitely for the man. And sometimes for the children. For the children. You know, sometimes for the children. Okay, so that's my rant. that's my rant. I might have to go edit. But thank you all for joining me for TT's Car Chronicles. I'm probably not going to be doing lives, other than TT's Car Chronicles. I probably won't be doing the other lives for, a little bit. I'm trying to take a break for some time for my own mental health, okay? Because there's been some craziness going on, and I think y'all know what it has been, and it affected me, so I have to recalibrate and to see which direction, to see which direction I want to go in. I need to recalibrate. Okay. I need to recalibrate. So, again, that's my rant. I hope y'all got something out of it. I will. I am. So I worked out today because listen, when the depression hits you, you don't want to do nothing. I mean that. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You don't want to do nothing. But I got my ass up and out this morning, worked out, came home, got myself together, and running some errands because this is the day that the Lord have made, and I will be rejoice and be glad in it. So, all right, I'm done. I'm doing some investigating because I want a pool next year. So that's what I'm doing, running some errands. So, all right, thank you. So, all right, until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.